Purushottari Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vicharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pasti Sairi Sattarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Siva Sadi Sigaur Bhakti Vinki. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Manchakalpatarudhyasa, Pipasinjaya Ivacha, Patitanam Pavani Vaishnavi Namo Namaha. Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So maybe we can read the translation now. Bhakta Baba, are you there?
O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a boar, all glories to you. The earth, which has become immersed in the Gorbadaka ocean at the bottom of the universe, sits fixed upon the tip of your tusk like a spot upon the moon.
Yes, thank you. So now we can hear, I said, a little bit small, very short clip of Srila Prabhupada talking about the Dasavatar, specifically about the Varahadev.
Lifted the world when it was submerged within the water of Garbhodak ocean. The universe which we are seeing, it is only half. The other half is filled with water. And in that water is Garbhodaksha Vishnu lying. So, one demon, Hiranyakha, he pushed this earthly planet within that water, and Lord Krishna delivered this earthly planet from water in the shape of a boar. So, that auspicious day is today, Varahadadashi. This is called Varahadadashi. So, on this day, it is better to sing.
Okay, so that was a very nice
glorify
introduction.
different incarnations of Lord
So
in this
we
universe.
have, Krishna's incarnation. Krishna has many incarnations. We know the famous 10 incarnations that we hear all about. Many times we have heard, and we have beautiful paintings in our ISKCON Philadelphia temple in the back of the Dasavatar. So we're just going to talk a little bit what is an avatar. Avatar literally means one who descends, one who is coming from up down here. And then, so how does it work? Who is how does it manifest? Who is Krishna? Who is incarnation? So just a little bit to start with. This is Mahavakya verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 3, text 28. And this the chapter entitled is Krishna is the source of all incarnation. So we can just start with that, and then we'll go around and talk about the different incarnation a little bit, and then come to Varahadev.
Ete chamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vakulam Lokam Mrida Yante Yuge Yuge.
All of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists.
We
Hare
can't hear
Krishna.
you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Sudev Mataji, Hare Krishna.
We can hear you now.
No, we are hearing ourselves, not Sudev Mataji.
Maybe you have to increase your volume, Mataji.
We can't hear Mataji.
Sometimes disconnect and connect, it helps.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, now.
So sorry. Okay, can we do this again, Shamagori? I'm very sorry.
Yeah, sure. Ete jansa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge.
All the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheist. The Lord incarnates to protect the theist.
Okay, so we hear this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Why does Krishna come? So Krishna, just different reason. Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Yes.
So Krishna,
Go ahead.
Krishna come for different reasons, and this is Bhagavatam explaining. So there is different reasons we'll hear as we go along, and then, but all the incarnation that comes actually come from Krishna. Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. He is the supreme personality of Godhead, and like this explanation said, all the other incarnation are portions of the plenary portion of the Lord. But Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. So this is just to set up that actually Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, he is the supreme personality of Godhead. So now we're going to see, of course, there's many incarnations. As we know, and as Srila Prabhupada explained, actually the incarnation are like, you go to the ocean, you watch the waves coming one after another, constantly, non-stop. So it's like that. Krishna has unlimited incarnation, many. We can't even count. So just all coming from Krishna, the original supreme personality of Godhead. And then, but we do often discuss and talk about the 10 incarnations, the Dasavatar. So we just very briefly go over that one, and then we'll come back to Varahadev. So this is a Dasavatar. We know, most of us know, and then just one of them is Lord Varahadev. So we can just start with for the first one, just a little quiz question here, just to see. Maybe devotees can take turn naming the incarnation. We start from the first one. Anybody volunteer can say who is the first incarnation from the Dasavatar?
Matsya. Matsya.
Good, Matsya, very good. Okay, so you keep going. The second one will be?
Kurma.
Kurma. Okay, good, very good. Third one?
Narada. Nishinga.
Varaha.
Varaha. Good, Masatin Javali. Today, Varaha. Okay, fourth?
Nishinga.
Nishinga, very good. Now, 5. Anybody?
Vamana.
Vamana. Good. Very good. 6.
Aladara.
Mm.
No, not Haradara.
Parashurama.
Parashurama.
No, Parashurama come after.
Yeah. And then you're almost there.
Rama.
Very good.
Then Krishna.
No, not
Balarama.
Balarama, yes. Balarama, and then?
Krishna.
Jagannatha.
Krishna.
Now,
Balaram.
Krishna.
Buddha.
Buddha, very good, Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Kalki.
Kalki, yeah, last one, Kalki. Very good, very good. So we can say, okay, so we have Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrsinga, Vamana, Parasuram, Rama, Balarama, Buddha, Kalki. So where's Krishna?
The eighth.
Eighth one is
Krishna.
no.
All
All the avatars of Krishna.
all the avatars of Krishna.
Oh yes, all but and Krishna, where is Krishna, Shamaguri?
He's the main one.
Krishna is in the middle.
Main
Yes, that's the whole thing. So Krishna is, we read, Krishna is the source of all incarnation, right? So all this coming from Krishna, and he is the primeval Lord, he is the supreme personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. So he is the main one, and all this incarnation are coming from him, and lots more, like we explained. So, okay, so that was just a little bit in the introduction. And then, so we also have other references from Brahma Samhita about Krishna being the original. So we can look at those.
Advaitamachyutamanadimanantarupam Adyam Purana Purusam Navayauvanam cha Vede Sudurlabhamadurlabhamatma Bhaktau Govindamadi Purusam Tamaham Bhajami.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is the inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
Okay, so this is, so what did you say? Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam. Ananta. Anta means there's end, but Anant, there's no end. No end, like we talked earlier, is so many. But Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. And then you can see in this beautiful picture here, and he is Navayuvanamcha. You know, he's original. You could say, well, he must be really old, but no, he's like a fresh youth, not more than 16 years old. So that's another reference that the blooming, what do you say? Yeah, he's a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth. So that's one reference, that Krishna is the source of all incarnation, and he is original, but is still never Yuvanamsha. So we have a couple of other references from the Brahma Samhita. So the next one will be
Ramadimurtisu kalani amena tishtan Nanavataram akarod bhuvanesu kintu Krishna soyam samavavat paramapumanyo Govindamadi purusam tamaham bhajami.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna, and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Narishma, Vamana, etc., as his subjective portions.
okay. So here another reference. So Krishna is a primeval Lord. He's a supreme, and then from him come many incarnations, and some of them listed in this verse: Lord Rama, like we talked earlier, Nrsingadev, and Lord Vamana. So that's another reference. So we have one more from Brahma Samhita, and then we can go on.
Deeparchira eva hitasantaramabhyupetya Deepayate viprita hetu samana dharma Yastadrigeva hicha vishnutaya vibhati Govindamadi purusam tamaham bhajami.
The light of one candle being communicated to other candles, although it burns separately in them, is the same in its quality. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who exhibits himself equally in the same noble manner in his various manifestations.
Okay, so this one, we hear this all the time. So, we want to we do this in Deepavali day, we do this for birthday. So you light one candle, and from that first candle, you can light so many, unlimited candles. So that's Krishna. He's the origin, he's the first one. And then from him, so many come. So that's another reference from the Brahma Samhita. And, we can see and how he's always Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that was a couple of reference from different Shastra. And now we have a short clip of a lecture by Srila Prabhupada in Bhubaneswar on January 31st, 1977. So we can hear, the lecture is on Varahadev. So we can tell a short clip and then we can continue.
Today, Varahadev appearance of Krishna's taking the incarnation of Varaha board. Kesavadita Sukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha. So Ramadi Muttisu Kalanyamena Tistan Nana Avatar Makaradhuvanishu Kintu Krishna Sang Samabhavat Paramappamanaju Govindamadi Samtama. Krishna, Govinda, Adi Purush, the original person, he is taking various forms, Rama Adi Murtisu especially, Sri Rama, Parsurama, Balarama, and Dasurathi Rama. So this Rama means enjoyment. So Krishna's enjoyment. It does not mean Krishna has appeared as the Lord. It does not mean he is suffering. Everything is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavita. Sometimes a big man becomes a horse. There is a very nice, interesting story that the big Prime Minister, Gladstone, English Prime Minister Gladstone. Yeah. Yes. So, somebody came to see him for an interview. So the servant informed the visitor that the Prime Minister is now busy, you have to wait. So he was waiting, he was a big man. So 1 hour passed. So he became inquisitive. So with the little opening of the door, he wanted to see how this man is engaged. I am waiting for 1 hour. So he saw that the Prime Minister has become a horse taking his grandchild on the back and is playing like a horse. And the important visitor is waiting for 1 hour. So this is enjoyment. The Prime Minister is not the horse, but he is enjoying taking his grandchild on the back, and he was playing like a horse. And the grandchild was hut. This was his engagement. So similarly, because he has become the horse of his grandchild, he is not horse, he is enjoying. That is enjoyment. Similarly, when Kesavadhita Sukara Rupa or Kesava Sita Varaha Rupa does not mean that he is Varaha or he is crocodile. Krishna has so many leelas activities. Krishna is not different from his activities, he is absolute. So these are the occasions we can hear about his activities. We are benefited. Therefore he plays sometimes as Meena Sarira, as Varaha Sarira, as Kurma Sarira, Ramadi Mutti Sikala Niyamena. There are hundreds and thousands of incarnations. Advaita Yachyate Anadi Ananta Rupam. Just like you cannot count the waves of the river. It is going on continually. Similarly, the incarnation of Krishna is going on eternally. So many. If you take the opportunity of hearing Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu about Vishnu's Leela activities.
Okay, so that was a very nice explanation by Srila Prabhupada about that different incarnations, and especially of Varahadev. And then we hear from from Srila Prabhupada, we heard that it's not that when he takes the form of a boar, he's suffering, but it's Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. He's enjoying. It's a different, Krishna take different incarnation for different reasons at different time. Like we know when the Vedas was thrown in the ocean, he takes the incarnation of a Matsya, fish, because that would be inappropriate to go in the water and take the Vedas out. So this one will hear that the earth had fallen into the Garbhodak ocean. So who will be the best one to go in that mud to pick up so that's so Krishna does everything perfectly appropriate, exactly what's needed. So then he takes his form, but he's totally transcendental. That doesn't diminish his quality in any way, any form. It's actually another opulence. What can he not do? Krishna can do anything and everything. So we heard different reasons he comes. We have a couple of references from the Bhagavad Gita. Why Krishna come? What's the need? Why he come?
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्.
Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharta, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself.
So we have one more from Bhagavad Gita.
परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतं धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे.
To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to reestablish the principles of religion. I myself appear millennium after millennium.
Okay, so we hear, and this verse I'm sure everybody knows, yes? Pritranaya sadhunam. So Krishna come. Sometimes he come to protect his devotees, like Prahlad Maharaj. And of course, the others, sometimes he come for his own pleasure and give pleasure to the devotees. And we heard, a few different reasons why Krishna come. Now, today we're going to just a little bit to talk about Lord Varahadev, because that's the avatar we are talking about. So just to get a little bit, before we get to Varahadev, we can just to the origin of the story, how it kind of, but briefly, because we won't have so much time to go in detail. So we know Lord Brahma, he's the creator, the origin of our, Sampradaya. So his job is to, make sure everything runs well and fill the, the whole universe, the earthly planet with the population. And then to do that, he needs some help. So he has some children. And then he asked them, so you please get married, have children, and then, have good children. They can be devotees, they worship Supreme Personality of Godhead and Krishna. So you have children. So he has a few sons, quite a few. So one of the sets of sons that he has was probably everybody has heard about them, the 4 Kumaras. Yeah. So they have so he has Sanat Kumar, Kumaras, and then the father said, okay, so now when you grow up, you get married, you have children, and you help me in this, service to Krishna. And then the children think of that. I said, so we have to get married when you grow up, right? He said, yes, but it will come soon enough. And they said, well, actually, we don't want to get married. Brahma was not very pleased. He said, we just don't want to get married. We don't want to get entangled. We just want to be free and to do whatever we want to do. And we're just not going to get married. So they decided that's what they're going to do. And that's how they were, as old as they were. They always looked like in this slide we can see, like very young, 4 or 5 years old, young boys. And they just wandered around. And that's what they were, just the 4 Kumaras. And one day they end up at the gate of Vaikuntha. And they said, we had decided we are going to go see Lord Narayan. And then you can see in the next slide, he just walks through, and then here we are. We are going to go see Lord Narayan. And then when they get to the gate, so who is there? Jai and Vijay, the gatekeepers. And then they said, we look at them in the slide because they're so boldly. They said, we want to go see Lord Narayan. I said, Jai and Vijay said, actually, he can't go because it's not so easy just walk in and say, you want to see Lord Narayan. And then, and then they got very angry. He said, oh, you are in Vaikuntha? I said, Vaikuntha, Vaikuntha. Kuntha means anxiety. Vaikuntha, there's no anxiety. You should not put people in anxiety. Anyways, they got into an argument, and these, the Kumaras, they cursed them. He said, you're not fit to be here. You should go to Ramachandra. You become a demon. And while this argument is going on, Lord Vishnu comes, Narayan comes. And then he is talk to them, I'm so sorry it happened. And anyway, long story short. So then he settled, I said, it's okay, because you did curse them, they will have to take birth and go to the earthly planet. But I'll personally, because you're my dear servant, come and then, fight with them, kill them, they will become demon, and then they will come back after 3 lives, and then they can take the post of the gatekeepers again. So we go to the first incarnations. It takes three different times. The 2 brothers, Jai and Vijay. So the first one was Hiranyaksha and Hiranyaksha. So the 2 brothers, and today we are celebrating the appearance of, we are talking about Hiranyaksha. So the first one was, we hear about Hiranyakasipu from the 7th canto Bhagavatam, and Hiranyaksha in the 3rd canto Bhagavatam. So that was the first lives. And then the second was, Sisupal and Dantabhakra. So we hear also about the Sisupal and Dantabhakra from Bhagavatam, 10th canto Bhagavatam. And then the third one is Ravan and Kumbhakarna. So we are familiar with that also, 9th canto Bhagavatam. Okay, so now we have a little background who are these demon. So this the Varaha avatar pastime is described 2 times in the Bhagavatam, 2 different times. And one was Sukla Varaha and one was Rakta Varaha. And then the way I was reading from the 3rd canto Bhagavatam is actually, it said that they both got merged together in this pastime, that they just This story is just tell one, just one of them. So reading from, so what happened again? So Lord Brahma, the whole, asked his sons to start again the population of the earth, and then he asked his son. So this one was Swayambhuva Manu, and then he said, "Yes, Father. Yes, we will do this, but we have this problem because the earth has submerged in the Garbhodak ocean. So first we have to actually put the earth in place together before we have, this population and this you start again." So he said, so Brahma said, yes, so that is a problem. So what will he do? So this is, I'm reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth had been inundated by a deluge and had gone down into the depth of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in the matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. So here, he said, yes, so we have to, of course, we know from different stories also, when there's some problems, the go, and we heard from Krishna book in the beginning, they went to the milk ocean and appealed to Lord Krishna. So then I will read a short purport, very nice. This is Srila Prabhupada purport to this verse. The devotees of the Lord, who are all confidential servitors, are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of the respective duties, but they are never discouraged. They have full faith in the Lord, and He paves the way for the smooth progress of the devotee's duty. So we can see, how difficult the job is, but Krishna helped the devotees. So Brahma was meditating like that for some time. He was thinking. So then what happened? O sinless Vidura, all of a sudden, while Brahma was engaged in thinking, a small form of a boar came out of his nostril. Is there here? Very small form of a boar came out of his nostril. And the measurement of that creature was not more than the upper portion of a thumb. So this is amazing. This is how, anyway, but then he continued to say, O descendant of Bharata, while Brahma was observing him, the boar became situated in the sky in a wonderful manifestation as gigantic as a great elephant. It came very small, but very quickly became very big. And then now they were wondering, struck with wonder at observing the wonderful boar-like form of in the sky, Brahma, with great Brahmanas like Marichi, as well as the Kumaras and Manu, began to argue in various ways. Just thinking, who is that? What can that be? It was so small and became so big. And finally, they decided, okay, that's Krishna himself. Krishna himself, and while Brahma was deliberating with his sons, the Supreme Personality Godhead Vishnu roared tumultuously like a great lion, a great mountain, I'm sorry. So then they said, okay, that's Vishnu, that's Krishna himself, and he is going to help us. So then anyway, and Krishna says, oh, this is so astonishing that this has come from my nostril. But anyway, so that's how he appeared. So then, anyway, it's long past time, but I'm not going to tell all the detail, but very beautifully, and then so he's okay. So now he's going to help, as always, Pritranaya Sadhana, Vinasvaya Sadhuskritam. Krishna is going to help us. And then he goes down to the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean and lifted Mazabhumi and bring. And then just beautiful description. We don't have time to read all of that. That's how beautiful he looked, and he come, and anyway, so it's just very nicely how lifted and bring and put her back and in place. And then, so in this particular pastime, like I said, there's two different times that is described in the Bhagavatam. So in this particular one, he does not fight. There is no fight. But this next one, the next time he comes, then there's a fight. Then the fight with Hiranyaksha. And then it's also described very nicely, long, how they almost like dancing, fighting, but look so beautiful. And then finally, of course, Hiranyaksha get killed. And then so that was the second time Varahadev come. So we can see, so what happened. So, and Prabhupada explained, he explained nicely, that when he comes, there's a reason he comes, but he's not forced to take that body. He comes out of his own pleasure, and he gives them, and to help the devotees. And so he put everything in order, everything is good. So I just, because it's getting late, just wrapping up a little bit. So Krishna, his body is always spiritual, no matter what, anytime he comes. So he's Krishna, he's Swayam Bhagavan, his body is spiritual, he's not contaminated, just like the sun. When the sun can purify anything, even like a filthy place. This is not like the sun get contaminated by doing that. So Krishna taking all this incarnation, it doesn't affect anyway. He's still Swayam Bhagavan, he's still Purnam, all this coming from him, but Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, like we heard from different references. Now we can see, so why do we have, why do we have so many incarnations, and what's the point of talking about them, and what's why do we do this? So why? Because this is it's so beautiful. We can see what can he not do. And then the more the devotees hear about Krishna's and his various pastimes, their devotion and their love for Krishna increase more and more. Wow, Krishna did this. Wow, he can do that. Like we are hearing in our morning Bhagavatam class, almost every day Krishna is coming and killing a demon, and then but then the cowherd boys are so happy, and they go home and they tell all about it. Oh, Krishna did this today, Krishna did that today. And in this way, they're remembering Krishna. And just by remembering, some attachment come. And then you start thinking, oh, Krishna. Anyway, because it's getting late, we'll go back to one more verse from Brahma Samhita to sum it up, that Krishna is the origin of all incarnation, and he's a Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Iswara Paramakrishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam.
Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the Supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes.
Okay, so you can see, he was, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, and then now we can see he's a cause of all causes. He's still the Supreme Personality of God, and he will remain so all the time. So he's asked Krishna. And then, so all this incarnation come from him. There is reason for that, for his pastime, for his pleasure, own pleasure, for the pleasure of his devotees. And then just to wrap it up, I was going to read one last verse, almost the one, verse 48 from the third canto of the pastime of Varahadev, and then we'll end here. This will be the last one. So, are you reading, Shamagori?
Okay. Ya evametam harimeda sohare katham subhadram kathaniyamainah Shrinvita Vaktya Shravayeta Boshatim Janardanavasya Suriti Pasidati.
If one hears and describes in a devotional service attitude this auspicious narration of Lord Bor, which is worthy of description, the Lord, who is within the heart of everyone, is very pleased. Would you like me to read the purport?
Please.
In his various incarnations, the Lord appears, acts, and leaves behind him a narrative history which is as transcendental as he himself. Every one of us is fond of hearing some wonderful narration, but most stories are neither auspicious nor worth hearing because they are of the inferior quality of material nature. Every living entity is of superior quality, spirit, soul, and nothing material can be auspicious for him. Intelligent persons should therefore hear personally and cause others to hear the descriptive narrations of the Lord's activities. for that will destroy the pangs of material existence. Out of his causeless mercy only, the Lord comes to this earth and leaves behind his merciful activities so that the devotees may derive transcendental benefit.
Okay, yeah, so we can see, so it is so beautiful, remembering Krishna, and that's we can hear, we heard many times, this purify our heart, bring us closest to Krishna. And then in the beginning of Krishna book, in the preface, Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse, Nirvitata Shir Upagiya Manad Bhavo Sadi Chotra Mano Bhiramat Ka Uttama Stoka Gunanuvadat Punam Virajeta Vinapasugnan. Glorification as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is performed in the Parampara system. That is, it is conveyed from spiritual master to disciple. Such glorification is relished by those no longer interested in the false, temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. Description of the Lord was the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Therefore, who will cease hearing such glorification of the Lord except a butcher or one who is killing his own self? So this is the right medicine. Osadi, Enichi Osadi Maya Nasibaro Lagi. Harinama Mahamantra Laotini Magi. Thakur Bhakti Vinod sings Osadi. We know Osadi is medicine. Medicine. So this is the medicine. This is the medicine. We are in a disease condition in the material world. So this Harinama Mahamantra, description of Krishna, Krishna Katha. So this is the medicine that by taking it, we'll get cured from this Bhava Roga. And then when you go to the doctor, you are sick, you get medicine and you get a diet. So the medicine is this Hari Katha, Harinam, and then the diet is Krishna Prasad. So if we do this, and then so we will, what is it? The Lord come and leave behind, all this pastime for us, and then the devotees are benefited. So the more we hear, the more we benefit, and there is so many pastimes. It's just like amazing. I mean, unlimited, Ananta Rupam. So this is getting late now. So we'll end here. Thank you very much, devotees. Gantarashmar Bhagavatam ki Jai, Shri Varahadev ki Jai, Gaur Pramanande, Hari Hari.
Haribo.
So if anybody, I would like to add something more and some correction, some addition, some anything. So please, now is the time. Thank you. Shamagori, you can say, please, who is
Yeah, Vatsala Mataji and Renuka Mata is raising hands.
okay. So who wants to go first? Doesn't matter to me.
Vatsala Mataji?
You can go first, dear.
No. I want you to go. I'll go last. I have taken a last position forever.
Thank you.
Last spot is my spot.
It's okay. Humble pranam to you. Thank you very much. You have extensively researched and you have given a lot of nice nectarian verses, and which is really invigorating, which is purifying our heart, and which is taking us back to Krishna and thinking about Krishna. Very, very nicely done. You always do the best, and you do research on so many different things. Thank you very much for presenting. A lot of people were, backing you up doing that. And thanks for asking the questions. So we will go back and remember certain things, even though we thought we got mixed up a little bit, but we came to hear about little things, in a better way. Thank you very much. I have one question. So these transcendental forms or avatars, they are originally Krishna avatar, and we understand that is given to us for our own purification, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, does he go through? Does Krishna go through these things I don't think he goes through that in material body. He must be going through all this with a spiritual body. So there is no suffering involved in him, right? He enjoys all this to protect us.
Yes, and we heard from Srila Prabhupada, any form he takes is transcendental. So for Krishna, there is no suffering at any time. He Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. We heard, it's only for his pleasure, and the pleasure of the devotees. Anytime come, anything in touch with Krishna is transcendental, is pure. So never to think that because it takes this form or that form, he is contaminated. That's not correct. Yes, he's transcendental, pure, supreme all the time.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I wanted to know. But it was beautifully presented. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me and making me listen to this. That is Krishna's grace alone. Yeah. We are here. Thank you. Thank you.
Renuka, please.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for a very beautiful and a versatile spiritual lecture today. I was about to skip this because I have so many things going on today, my work and my travel to see my parents. So many things. I thought I will give this a skip. I'm glad I did not skip your session. And listening to you live it's always, it's a special feeling when you listen live and participate in the discussion in a live session. Thank you so much for today's session. And I think the takeaway, the way I'm looking at it, and the takeaway for me is celebrate the differences. And then find the similarities. The similarity is the oneness of Krishna among all these forms. And if you look at all the different forms that were described today, they all have different emotional quotients, different spiritual quotients, and different intelligent quotients. Because you see Vamana, you see Krishna, you see Buddha, you see Parashuram, he's like an emotionally volatile guy, and different emotional quotients of the different human beings. And also if you look at the animals, one on land, one on half land, half water, and if you see the half man and half animal. So is it the whole point is to celebrate the differences across all the living entities, and within the living entities, within human beings itself, across different quotients, like spiritual quotients. See, you are high up there and I'm just a beginner, and different intelligent quotients, different emotional quotients. So we should all celebrate the differences and find the oneness of Krishna amongst all these things. Is that the today's takeaway message?
The takeaway message, I don't know if emotion is the right word, but Krishna, the message is Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. He's the top, what is the fountainhead. Srila Prabhupada says he's a fountainhead of all incarnation. And from him, many, many incarnations, we talk about how many, as we can't even count, Ananta Rupam. And then he come for his own pleasure, for pleasure of his devotees, to protect the devotees. But for him, he's not affected in any way. He's not affected in any way. He's the same. And then he just different, he come for different, you can say, work, a job. But that's according to time, place, and circumstances, and we don't have time to go through all of them now. But he comes and does it when to fulfill the benediction of Brahma. He came and he did the Sringadev. For Sringadev, half man, half lion. And there were different ways for Parashuram. He has to kill all this Kshatriya. So anyway, so that's what it is. The bottom line, Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. Many incarnations come from him, but he's still the supreme. And there is no difference, and he's not contaminated in any way. He's Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan. Okay, anybody else?
Thank you, ma'am.
Mataji.
Krishna also said in Bhagavad Gita, my Janma Karma cha me divyam, all his Janma and his karma, his activities, they're all transcendental. And
Yes.
they're all transcendental. And Janma Karma cha me divyam yome evam yeti tatpataha chakpadiha punam janma naitimam sarjuna. And whoever hear about the Janma and karma, the activities of Krishna, they never take birth again in this material world. So that's one thing I got from him. It's very important to hear about the different incarnation, different pastime of Krishna. Just by continuously hearing this, and if you remember this at the time of leaving the body, I'm sure, like Krishna promises, when you leave this body, you don't have to come back to this material world.
Thank you. Very nice. Okay, anybody else?
Mataji.
Yeah, Vatsala Mataji is raising hand.
Okay, Vatsala Mataji, we are getting late, so make it quick.
Yes. One more thing is, so when we are bringing down all the scriptures to our level of understanding from previous participants, Are we not concocting our own mind-created solutions? Aren't we not supposed to go back to Srila Prabhupada and other things? Because our mind may create certain unwanted things from our own accumulated data and other things. So when we want to simplify everything, are we not bringing to our level, which may be a misunderstanding? Aren't we not supposed to follow what Srila Prabhupada was saying from his life experience, his dedication to the ways of living? I'm just a little, little worried about that, because we are always want to bring down to our level of understanding. Our level of understanding is not clear always. We are not perfect spirit souls. I mean, we are thinking with all the accumulated data.
I understand. No, that's why I don't know if I said something like that, but I try to speak from the parampara and then present Prabhupada quote and Prabhupada, so we always have to, we don't concoct, we don't speculate. We hear from the sadhu, sastra, and then the guru, and then what they say. I think like that. Yeah, you can think anything, but we have to follow instruction given in the, in the shastra, in the spiritual master, in the parampara system. You don't, I think it should be like that. In my opinion, this is what I, but it's just not correct. I don't know if that's what you are asking, Maza. I didn't know.
Thank you, Mataji. I'm not especially talking about you, but other people who are coming in, and I mean, out of excitement or something, we may say something. It may not be true, because we are imperfect creation. We have a lot of things, a lot of years of dedication and service to do and go back to Krishna. So out of our own curiosity, we may make mistakes. So
that's why we
some
have
of the me, I'm talking about myself. I cannot talk about others.
Okay, yeah, we have 4 defects. Yeah, we make mistake, we illusion, we have imperfect senses, and then we have cheating propensity. So that's why we can't trust our own mind and senses. So we take shelter from the Shastra and the Guru. It's getting quite late, and then anybody else, if anybody else has anything else.
Hare Krishna, Mother Sudevi.
Yes.
First, I wanted to say, wonderful presentation. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I think the devotees here really enjoyed it. The PowerPoint, the pictures, it brought everything to life and helped me. I hope it helped everyone else remember the importance of Lord Varahadev. So thank you very much. I did have a question, but I think you answered it in that last segment. I really just wanted to just say thank you for the time you and your team put into this presentation.
What was the question? I'm curious. I just hope I did.
It had to do with when you get to a lot of times people see when we talk about these different incarnations, they see it as Catholicism, mythology. Okay, Krishna came as a person. Okay, we can understand that. Lord Brahma is there, but a fish, a boar, a half man, a half lion. This is made up. This is kind of mythology. How can we? So the question was, how do we prevent ourselves from going there if devotees think that? Or if somebody questions us in that way, how do we answer that question?
Yeah, so that's very good, Prabhu. So that's why before even I started talking, we had all this sastric, quote, and Prabhupada himself talking. So we had that lecture playing to make sure that there's no confusion. Anytime Krishna comes, it's all the Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's pastime, Krishna's dham is all transcendental. It has the same potency. He comes for different reasons, for different pastime. But that's a good question, Prabhu. People do get confused and mistaken. Oh, that's another, so that's why we have to read from the Shastra and from the spiritual master to get a good understanding. So thank you very much, everybody. I just want to take 1 minute to thank all the devotees for coming for class, and especially my dear friend Shamagori for doing all the work, and our good friend Bob. He did such a good job. Thank you,
Viva.
Bob, and everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And,
Thank
so,
Thank you.
Varahadev ki jai.
Jai.
Varahadev
Thank
ki
you.
jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Hare
very much,
Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Chakapadar
Hare
Hopya
Krishna.
Vacha
Krishna.
Bhavacha Patitanam
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Jai.
Very
Jai.
nice. Very
Varahadev.
nice.
Thank you, Mother Shamagori.
And Bob did
And
very
Bob
good.
Prabhu and Mother
Thank you, Bob.
Sudevi. Hare Krishna.
No, thank you all for asking me. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very